In this ultimate guide to settlement, we'll be covering exactly how they work and how you can make the most of your future thriving metropolis. Today we'll be covering how to find settlements, but not just any settlements, the settlement with the building part type or race that you want on the planet you want, whether you have already found a settlement or not. You shouldn't have to settle for the first town that shows you its monument. It's best to start with how settlements spawn. Settlements only spawn on inhabited planets, so no weird planets with glitches everywhere, no dead planets or low atmosphere planets. If the planet has buildings on it like archives and trading posts, it's good to go. Another thing to note is that each of the three races uses a specific type of building material, so if you were after a settlement that builds in the wooden styles, you would need to look in a system owned by Gek. For the alloy parts it will be Korvax, and for the stone, Vy'keen. If you aren't sure which building part set you'd prefer your settlement to be made out of, then I'd recommend checking out the showcase I did for all of the base building parts added in the Frontiers update, or better yet, create a creative save and just spend some time checking them out in person. With that in mind, we are limited to inhabited planets within systems owned by the race that suits our architectural desires. For me, this is a Gek system, as I just love the wood. Lastly, for the mechanics at this point, it would appear you can only be the overseer of a single settlement at a time. There was word of a 100 settlement limit within the save files, but it seems at the moment taking over a second settlement will abandon your current. Now we know what we are looking for, we need to break down the mechanics of finding them. There are two primary methods of finding settlements. These are through the initial settlement mission, which is activated when you enter space on a save that has finished the initial tutorial mission, or with the use of settlement maps purchased from a cartographer found on the space stations for the low price of 5 navigation data per map. You may also find them through other missions that involve locating an NPC, but that is not an efficient way to find your future mini-city. The first method with the mission will try to communicate with you when you enter space. Accepting this communication is the point of no return in this mission, so I would advise making a manual save near a teleporter before answering the communication. It is absolutely fine to ignore this communication to travel to a different place, it will just keep trying to contact you until you answer it. This is fantastic for travelling to where you wish to have your settlement, or even searching for an appropriate planet, but be warned, if you ignore it for too long, it will become extremely annoying, and you can always look for that perfect one later using maps. Once you've made a manual save, either at the planet you want your settlement on or by a teleporter with a link to that planet, get on the planet you wish to go for, get in your ship, pop just out of the atmosphere into space and get the communication going, and answer it. It is not guaranteed to give you a settlement on that planet. It may give you one on another planet in that system, or even a different nearby system, but don't worry, you can re-roll this to a degree. Provided you have a manual save from before you accepted the communication, you can just keep popping up out of the atmosphere around the planet of your choice and taking the call to see where it sends you. The other method using the maps appears to be a little more forgiving. None of the times I've tried have attempted to send me to a different system, and this makes sense as the maps are supposed to be for use specifically in the system you use them in. But they can send you to different planets. For this I would recommend just making a save and use it. You should only need a single map. If the map doesn't give you a location on that world, just reload and stand somewhere a little different and try again. Keep doing that until success. If you wish to do this without reloading in any way, then I would suggest finding the first one with your mission just to get it out of the way, and then buying a huge amount of maps. Unfortunately, once a map has found a settlement, you will have to go to it in order to scan for another, so the non-reloading method will take a bit of extra time. Lastly is whether you should accept a settlement once you have found it. I've not yet unearthed full knowledge of settlements, but the system appears to work in a very similar way to frigates, and if this is the case, you should look for a settlement with a low population. Ignore the mood of the settlers. They seem to be at the same number regardless upon discovery. Ignore the positive and negative traits, although if you find a low population settlement with 2 positives, then I would go for it, and be wary of the expenditure versus productivity. The best I found while testing from what I can gather was a C-class settlement with 24 citizens, a productivity of 217k with a maintenance cost of only 265k. The Sentinel alert level of 5% is likely so low due to the low population. The reason I'm suggesting this is I suspect the population is capped at 200 based on the progress bar around its circle. As this appears to work like frigates, the population cap may be where the settlement stops evolving, and so stops getting better, which means if you can find a super low pop settlement with stats like these, which are better than most I've found with 60 pop, it likely has a better potential for growth. This is purely a theory based on logic from how other systems in the game work. It is not at all proof, but I'm working on figuring out the full mechanics of these systems, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you have the best shot of catching it when it goes live. Also, don't forget to leave a like and share this video with whoever you think will enjoy learning all the ins and outs of this new feature. It really helps the video get out there and the channel grow as a result. If you wish to support Zane's World in other ways, I have a Patreon and YouTube memberships, along with an info-packed website and awesome packed Discord, all linked below in the pinned comment. Thanks for watching folks, and have a fantastic day.